today we have Root Troops with us, and we're going to talk all about it. This is a very interesting and unique project, so it's going to be very exciting. So,
my name is Stone, founder over at Root Troop. We are a project based around tree kangaroos and developing the first on-chain job marketplace. So we're looking really to bridge the gap in Web3, where there's no real way for employers and employees to connect with each other in an efficient manner. So that's kind of our mission, what we're here to do.
what is the background of Root Troop, and how are you guys going about building an on-chain marketplace?
We've already noticed, and I think everybody who's interacted with this space has noticed thus far, that there are a lot of opportunities in it. And so, there's projects left and right. There are people looking for people. But there's no really clear way at this point in time for folk who are looking to employ people in the Web3 space to actually get in touch with folk that are looking to be employed. So we've already seen on sort of a microscopic level what we've already been able to do with our job bounty system, which is just a placeholder system right now, which enables us to, we work with a handful of projects. We have partnerships with, say, Llamaverse, which uses exclusively our platform to bring on new employees. We've already been able to put a lot of people into positions just with this small placeholder system where we pose the opportunity for projects out there to submit via a form jobs that they're looking to hire for. We do a little bit of vetting, and then we put it on this platform here where anybody who holds a certain set of tokens can access and view all the jobs available. So I think right now we're partnered with Sappy Seals, Llamaverse, Gaming Ape Club,
Asteria Labs
as well, long list, but holders of those tokens right now can access all of these job listings, and we've already put forth so many people into so many positions. I think and I don't recall exactly, but our the highest amount of pay that we've gotten somebody hooked up with was 30 ETH or something like that, Stone?
Yep.
Some very high number.
We're at around 65 people placed in jobs so far, with over 270 jobs posted. And before we get to the on-chain aspect, which I'll let Corey expand on, because I'm definitely not the big brain dev here. Just to give you some context of why this came to be, we were actually doing project launch advisement before starting Root Troop. We were working with some other projects, and basically every single one of those founders, the money-backed VCs, the CEOs who wanted to come in and launch a project, they needed to hire someone. Whether it was a Discord mod, a community manager, Solidity dev, they needed someone. And so we started bringing those opportunities into our Discord before we even launched. And just for context there, we launched the Discord around October, but didn't launch the project until January. So this was a service that was free to everybody. We were bringing in those opportunities. We were interviewing people from our community. We were hand-holding them and ramping them up and training them. And then we were leaving them with those projects and giving them paid opportunities. And so that really made it clear to us that, hey, just as much demand as there is for people to join teams, there's demand on the other side for people looking for roles. But the commonality between both of those is that there's no visibility on either side. You go on Glassdoor, you go on Indeed, and you try and look up a community manager for an NFT project, like, you're probably not going to find anything. And if you do, the pay for that role is going to be completely out of whack and not in touch with the Web3 landscape. And so we noticed a significant gap in the market, saying like, hey, we know there's thousands of hungry community members who want to work. We know there's thousands of money-backed founders who want to hire these people. We just need a way to connect them. And there's no real good Web3 job marketplace right now. So that's where the initiative came from.
On this website, you can get full-time and part-time positions. Am I correct?
Yep. You can get anything under the sun there.
Okay. And why would someone need an NFT in order to apply for a job, or how would that work?
Yeah, so right now in its infant stages, this is an exclusive service that is just for Root Troop holders and our Class A partner community holders. And so like Corey said, that's Llamaverse, Sappy Seals, Ethalian, Gaming Ape Club, and Asteria Labs. The reason we are gating it is because this is our first business. We want something that's manageable, and we want to scale progressively. We don't want to come out the gates and get flooded with everything. This has given us time to iron out all the kinks, really kind of improve our processes, and really refine our mission and our goals and what we're going to do with the marketplace. So right now, anybody can come in and post a job listing. You don't have to hold the NFT to do so. And the reason for that, and the kind of main feedback is, why would you charge employees but not employers? And that's not really the case. It's more so about bringing in opportunities, right? If you're an unknown project, why would people post their jobs to your project, right? So we came out the gate saying, hey, anybody can come post. And what you're getting by posting with us is a community full of hungry people who want to build in Web3 and are actually native to this space and know about it. So you're getting a pool of applicants that you can be sure are actually in the know about what's going on here and how to kind of go about their business. So that's kind of where we're at currently, but eventually it will open up to everybody. The on-chain job marketplace is going to be for everybody. It's not going to be gated because we're here to stimulate the entire NFT economy, not just our holders. Corey, do you want to touch on the on-chain element of what the job marketplace is going to look like?
Yeah, let's dig into that a bit. So, as Stone said, this is really a grassroots movement forming out of the NFT community. And, a lot of the other pieces of software that are out there already, they exist for the corporate world, they exist in the Web 2 world. The world that we know is, oftentimes doesn't compensate the way people ought to be compensated. It's got a lot of hands in it that really ought not be in it. So what we're looking to do is do something a little bit more true to the Web3 ecosystem. And in doing so, what's more inherently Web3 than building something on the blockchain? What we're looking to do is leverage what the blockchain gives us, right? It gives us a permanent record of historical events that cannot be altered. And we're looking to leverage that to create a marketplace that is truthful and verifiable. So we're going to have, now people who join our platform, there's nothing being gate kept by corporations. There's nothing keeping people from the jobs. And there's going to be a record of not only what jobs people have taken on, right? Built right into the blockchain, can't be changed, whether it's good or bad feedback. There's going to be a record of jobs that people have taken on, and there's going to be a record as well of projects that are looking to hire people and the folk that they've taken on, whether or not they've paid properly, how, and you can see from that as well, have they been involved in projects that have rugged and whatnot. And so this gives us a verifiable record built right into the blockchain of employment history, of employees. And it does so in just a way that's very inherently Web3, right? And it also allows this ecosystem to survive without us. We're not going to be around forever, right? We're all going to die in 100 years. But the hope is that, this product can still exist without us, and it'll continue living on in true Web3 form, into the distant future.
And just to touch on that as well, the problem we're trying to solve here, or the problem we will solve here, is the fact that currently in Web3 in these transactions, there's too much trust, right? If you are going to hire somebody from the community, more than likely they're anonymous, as is the norm in this space. And so you have to extend a level of trust as the hirer that they actually have the experience that they say they do. And on the flip side, as the employer or as the employee, interviewing, you have to extend a level of trust that this founder hasn't been involved in rugs, that they're actually here to build, and, they have the means to do what they say they're going to do. And so similar to how NFTs provide proof of ownership and it's undeniably verifiable, we're going to be providing proof of work, proof of experience. So.
Yeah. So even just to add a little bit more to that, I get super excited about this specific conversation, but ultimately if you think of a root problem that anyone would have in their daily life, independent of if you're, talking about NFTs, blockchain, crypto, whatever, that part doesn't even matter. Imagine you just need to go and get a job somewhere. Well, that means that I, as a candidate, I need to figure out, well, what work have I done in the past and how do I represent that to an employer so that they understand what I've done? Well, that means I need to now create a resume. To do that, that means I have to type all of this information out. Now, as an employer who's looking at that resume, what's the standard process? Well, we interview somebody, we talk to them. And then we hope that in that conversation, we can understand that they have a skill set that's going to meet the need of me as that employer. Now I can actually, through what we're building, look at something and verify with exact certainty to say, I know that this person has done this thing in the past. And I can then look at that and relate it directly to someone without having to consider, are they just really good at interviewing? Are they just really good at being able to talk to me and trick me, if you will, into thinking that they can do this thing? Now we can actually point to something with confidence and say with 100% certainty, yes, I know that they have done this thing in the past. And because of that, I know that they can then do the same thing I'm asking them to do today. And similarly, for me as a candidate, how do I know that what you as an employer are offering me, not in the sense of the job role, but in terms of the payment and in terms of the the amount that I may receive, is that actually a fair price for what it is? Maybe I'm brand new to the specific space, and so I don't really know what a community manager should be paid. Well, we can now actually, through the data that we could collect through this and then be, publishing it, provide standardization and or average understanding to anybody to say this is what this type of role then actually may be paid. And so now as a candidate, I feel confident that I'm going to be paid what I'm worth, or at least in this case, I'm paid what this specific role is generally paid. And I don't have to just trust that, the employer is going to pay me a fair wage. It can now be proven that this is the standard way.
How does staking work? Because you can, what utility tokens do you earn, and what is the utility behind those tokens?
So I'll give you a quick layman's term explanation, and then I'm gonna let Big Brain Corey over here give you the
always
sauce.
passing on the work to Corey.
Yeah. So we wanted to come out of the gates with something very, very innovative and that hadn't been done before. So this is actually a first of its kind staking mechanism that we worked directly with NFTX to develop. And if you're not familiar with NFTX, it is a great platform where projects can open up liquidity pool vaults for their tokens. So essentially, you can deposit your NFT and it will mint one ERC20 currency in exchange for you locking up that NFT, which then takes it off of the floor of OpenSea. So my thought around it was, hey, let's really incentivize people to lock up their floor NFTs, because most people don't deem floor NFTs as valuable. They don't want them anyway. That's typically the stuff they're throwing out and trading and flipping. And so what if we reward them for locking them up? They can yield this ERC20 currency RU, but then also let's develop a dashboard on top of that, underpinned by the NFTX vault, that lets them yield a secondary currency called RULA. And so RU is liquidity backed. You can exchange it for ETH. RULA is not, as of right now at least, it is to be purely a utility token. And so while it is innovative, while it is unique, it is the first of its kind, and we have NFTX saying that on record. It didn't work out how we planned. It's a pricey mechanism because it is underpinned by NFTX. The gas cost to stake is sometimes equal or greater than the actual NFT cost itself. On top of that, it also requires people to pair liquidity with their stake. So they can't just deposit the NFT. They have to deposit the NFT plus equal parts Ethereum or WETH. WETH, Corey, you'll give me shit for that later. But so with that, it's a very pricey mechanism. And what we saw is like only about 150 people ended up staking, unfortunately, which then, kind of disbands the utility that we had planned for RULA. So what we did was we put out a community vote recently, and 98% of people voted to change up the staking mechanism. So this was a big bulk of this is a huge lift by Corey that we're now getting rid of. But definitely want to allow Corey to flex on what he built here, because it's really unique. So
happy to flex on it. So yeah, what you're looking at now, like Stone said, is a platform that we built on top of the NFTX platform. The NFTX platform's been around for a while, but what they haven't seen is anybody finding a way to wrap their platform's functionality with their own utility token. So as you see here, the primary utility token, our in-ecosystem token, RULA, that we'll, I'm sure, discuss later, is used in our RULA shop and was used to mint Joey's and whatnot. We yield that on top of NFTX's rewards by doing a very novel and new thing, which is building out a smart contract that wraps all of the NFTX functionality into a nice bundle, manages it all for the people, and does so in a very simple way. Because of course we were from day one, we're trying to give people access to cool technologies while also making sure the technologies are very understandable. Right, one of our core tenets is education, and so we wanted to make something that was understandable, also something that we can educate upon for the layperson. But yeah, we wrap a bunch of NFTX functionality right there under NFTX as a whole. Is just it's a platform that allows people to, like Stone said, convert non-fungible tokens into fungible tokens. So right, the root group NFTs can become the RU ERC20 token, and it allows them to then put that into a pool of tokens that can be then freely traded using this ERC20 token. An ERC20 token which has a liquidity pool on SushiSwap and can be purchased in fractional quantities as well. So this allows people to hold, say, a quarter of a roux if they so desired, and then it would be underpinned by an actual root troop NFT. So this technology is very, very powerful for allowing people to, just passively earn the utility token as well as the actual roux token as they're just, as they go on with their normal days. And so we're leveraging technology that already exists. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, and we're adding a little bit more on top of it. And so this makes for a little bit of a complicated ecosystem, right? We have the root troop NFT, we have the roux ERC20 token, but there's a handful of other tokens that are moving in the background there that, you don't really see on the day-to-day because we've wrapped this technology into our smart contract. But when you go in with a root troop NFT, you give it to the NFTX platform, you're going to get the roux ERC20 token. But then you can take that roux ERC20 token and you could take it to Sushi Swap and put it in a liquidity pool with equal parts ETH or WETH or WETH, whatever Stone wants to call it. And in return, you're going to get back this XRU WETH token, which is just an SLP token. It's a Sushi Liquidity Provider token. What you do then is you take that to the NFTX platform and you stake that with NFTX in order to yield the roux ERC20 token. And that just gets hung onto by NFTX. And you are then given an XRU ETH token. And you take that token, and this is all happening in the background, and you put that into our staking platform, and it holds onto that for you, right? It's some sort of escrow for this XRU ETH token, and it makes sure that you have staked through NFTX. And as long as you're staked through NFTX, you're going to earn roulette in a fixed rate over time. And right, the accrual for roulette right now is 10 roulette a week per roux. And we're looking to change the mechanism up to be a little bit more rarity based, but that's what it is currently. And so, yeah, as long as you stay staked up with NFTX and through us, you just earn both tokens, and it's the best of both worlds. And you can keep continually going through and restaking your roux and piling on top of that and letting it exponentially compound as well. So it's a very powerful tool, but like Stone says, it has a lot of shortcomings in that all those steps that I just enumerated happen in one transaction when you're staking, right? It swaps tokens, sends them to the Sushi liquidity pool, sends a token over to NFTX, sends that token over to our contract. And so there's all sorts of things going on, and it gets rather expensive, right? And it also requires that people understand what providing liquidity even is, right? There's a lot of risks in being a liquidity provider that isn't super friendly for the layperson. And when we first launched this platform, we created a really thorough white paper on what exactly all of this is and how it all works and the risks of being a liquidity provider. But a lot of people don't understand, you can lose money on providing liquidity due to impermanent losses, and there's just a lot of little risks here. So that's why we're looking to rebuild as well and build something even better that doesn't have these inherent risks, allows people who don't have as much, who aren't whales to enter the ecosystem with a lot less friction.
I'll kind of leave you with this. Joey reveals coming soon. Roulette Shop is being updated as we speak. We have our second Super Roux 1 of 1 coming out next week. New rarity-based staking is coming very soon. We're looking to have that done by the end of the month. And then last but not least, John and myself are hosting a panel at NFT NYC this year about making Web3 jobs accessible via NFTs. So if you're there, come through. We'll also be hosting 2 events outside of the conference. Those are going to be 2 huge club events that you do not want to miss. So with that, Rudy Roo, and thanks for having us, man.